Daily Combat podcast. So we're hoping that everything is working. We're live on a few different channels. People can comment. We will see your comments come up and we can react to those as well. But one of the things we were going to talk about today was Real Estate Agents Group has sponsored one of the events that's happening in Melbourne, the Garage Wars 2.0 arm wrestling event, which is being hosted by Andy and Mario from the Andy and Mario show. Some big matches on that card. You're going to be there in person.
Yeah, so I think I'm now prepared to make that announcement. I will be there in person. So I'll be there. It's on the 27th of August. Kicks off at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon and goes for several hours. So those people that do want to tune into the live stream, then they can do so by getting onto Andy and Mario's page and enjoying the live stream there. And they'll have 3 or 4 hours of arm wrestling entertainment. So I am very proud to be associated with this event. Myself and Jake Ward, the Aussie ArmWrestler, are the co-sponsors of this particular event, and we might be very fortunate to have the great man Jake Ward on the podcast in the next 15-20 minutes, also give his views and a bit of a preview as to for anybody that's perhaps looking to put money down on any of these bouts. Come the 27th of August, you might want to pay a little bit more attention to what Jake has to say than what you and I may be speculating. But for lovers of arm wrestling or combat sports, there's a fantastic event to enter into the calendar now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hopefully, Jake, I think when we did send him the link, he was out walking the dog. So we'll see how long that takes, whether he gets back in time. But
I believe the last time we went for a walk, it was from the Sydney Opera House to Melbourne. So we could be waiting a while.
That's right. So, but I have told you this, but I'll tell the viewers that are watching. We do have three people that are watching. We can see that. So hello to you.
They can't all be my mum then.
That's right. Excellent. She's got 3 accounts.
Yes.
You can write a comment in there. We will see the comments. Say hello, and we'd like to make sure that feature is working. But as I was saying with Jake, when we went to the Over the Top tournament, and after the event, I was having to catch up with him as he was trying to find his car. And so I was helping him with that. But the way that it was in Broadbeach in the Gold Coast, and everything is so spread out. It's not spread out, but it is. It's like you can see where you need to go. Like it's literally across the road, but it's a 20-minute walk. You want to get
across the road because of the way that the road's blocked off.
That's right. There's a river. There's a dog.
There's a wild beast that might enter in.
You've got to have a code and a key tag, and
you've got to know
solve a riddle.
Yeah,
to get across. And it was like impossible. Anyway, he's forgotten where he's parked because he got there early, and I didn't know. I'd never been there before either.
Yeah,
I'm sure I parked underneath the casino somehow. I don't know how to get there. And he was tired. It's been a long day. This is like an 18-hour day at this point.
Just the wee hours of the morning by this stage.
We wanted to get some food. And it was like, there's McDonald's all the way down there.
You can see the arch, the golden arcs or the arches, arches off in the distance. Yeah,
that's right. And it was like, should we
an oasis shimmering in
it's like you've got the decision to make. Like, do we try to find the car and then you can drive us there, or do we go for that long walk? And
did you feel you had the sustenance like at that stage? So was it a matter of do we go and eat so we've got the energy to find the car, or do we maybe go try and find the car and maybe perish along the way?
Right, exactly.
Right.
I was happy either way. I was having a great time. I was in a good mood. It'd been a big day, and I hadn't been on the microphone all day like he had, so he was tired, but I was like pumped.
Yeah.
And so I didn't care. I was like, that's a good decision.
Adrenaline still going.
Yeah. I was like, that's a good move, and that's a good move. And it was like, and then he decided, let's go for the car. So it was
up to Jake. He ultimately had to make the decision.
That's right.
Yeah, right.
And he went the car route. I don't think either one was going to be good for him.
In hindsight, there was no good decision to be made.
That's right.
These are both bad options.
And we are getting some comments here. We've got Madison, one of our arm wrestling club members. He said he loves the suit. Obviously, talking about my suit here, which is the Daily Combat podcast. But no, Dave is very much always well dressed. You have a special tailor.
I do have a very special tailor. So Milap there from from Lamilago. It's just opened a new boutique on Stevens Place, just off of Rundle Mall. So head to the H&M building if you're familiar where that is, and downstairs you'll see Adelaide's newest men's. Well, actually, they'll do men's and women's tailoring.
right.
So, but a bespoke boutique. Thank you very much for noticing, Madison. I certainly appreciate it.
Thank you, Madison.
Yeah, and Milap appreciates the kind words as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's right. I was here when he brought in like that sample book of like felts. I don't know what they're called.
Felts and hides.
Cloth. Pelts. Yeah, seemed like a great guy, and obviously does a fantastic job. I think of all the people I know, you're always well dressed. So.
Thank you. I try to be dapper.
Sweat actually cleans that suit. So
it wicks away and then cleans itself, and
then cleans other suits.
Yeah, and then goes off to other suits.
Actually, it was funny because when we were at one of the DFC cards, I don't know, maybe it was Pride, and you came over and you're like, I just got blood all over my jacket.
It was this jacket, actually. Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, so I was finishing with Jake.
Yes.
So yeah, we're trying to find his car, and it was like the way that we went, it was either straight for McDonald's or it was a long, bendy, twisty, windy, dark, sheltered road to maybe there's the car.
The possibility of the
car. That's the right way to get for the car park. And he's like, I guess we're going to have to go that way. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And I could see he's getting more tired as we're walking.
He instantly had regret with every step. The regret deepened.
And my joy was, I think, sapping even more.
He wasn't taking it as encouragement.
No. I was making stupid jokes. And I'm like, I hope it's not there.
Yeah.
I hope this is the wrong way.
And was his hope just diminishing by the moment as well? As with every step, his confidence about where he'd left the car was waning.
He was second guessing himself nonstop, and just like, and I was just like, I so hope that it's not. We've come all this way, and this is not the way, but it was the way. But then when we got to the car park, you can remember where he parked. So it was another.
And was it a hire car situation for him? So he didn't. There was no. So he could he recall what kind of car it was?
It was a white car.
It was a white,
which really narrowed it down.
Yeah. There wouldn't hardly be any.
There was hardly any of every other car that was white. So he was just like walking, like he was limping at this point.
Blisters.
He was limping, and it was like he's just hopefully pressing the button, hoping, and then it would go, and he'd be like, "Oh," and then somebody else,
somebody who knew which car was theirs, approaching their vehicle, rubbing further salt into the wounds. Further salt into the blisters.
But we found it eventually, and then we went to McDonald's. We had McDonald's. We had a nice chat about the event. And
post event, the adrenaline's now worn off. What are your thoughts now
with the over the top?
Yeah, with the over the top. Yeah,
it's great. It's good fun. It was like I said. Well, for him, I could imagine how difficult it would have been trying to keep the energy up for a period of time, and he did a fantastic job. He was an amazing announcer. For me, it was like it was hard to keep up. Like there was 4 tables going in the middle of the room, and it was like, I want to see this match, but I also want to see that match, and then slipped, and then I missed that pin, and then and I missed that one, and it's like it was. I mean, that's the way it is.
Have you had an opportunity to see any of the pay-per-view since as well, to see how that translated to the outside audience?
I haven't actually.
Okay, it'll be really interesting because, like you said, there's a lot going on at the same time, and I wonder where the attention of the production crew might have been at any point in time with so much happening.
That's right, because with the final, like with the open class, so I was there. Obviously, everyone who's anybody in the arm wrestling world was there. And Ryan Bond was there, and he'd been filming all day. And he said, like, when the open class starts, he said, can you film the open class? Because I don't want to be worrying about filming when I'm trying to be concerned with how I'm going to compete.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's great. That's good for me. That's cool. You trust me enough to film like the thing. And so I was on the stage, like, it was me and then like the referee and the competitors, like, and I'm standing like, this is cool. Like, I get to film it.
VIP.
And I'm trying to like gauge which is the more important match, and it'd be like, okay, I'm here, and it's like, okay, they've slipped, but that's a really good one. I'm like, no, and I go to that one, and then it's like, no, I'm gonna stick with this. I have to stick with this. So that made it a little bit tricky, but there were so many matches that happened, and I remember saying to Ryan a few weeks back when I was up at his place, and he said, oh, so in the tournament he had beaten Ryan Scott from West Australia. And I was like, did you? I was like, I don't even remember that. He goes, you filmed it. Did I? I don't remember it at all. There was so many matches happening, but
which in isolation, that would be a match that you'd quite happily devour and really enjoy. But in that context of there being several things going on at once, it's hard for the mind to process and then to prioritize where to spend the attention.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. There was, I mean, as I said, anyone who's into arm wrestling was there, and it was all happening, all different classes. And you're like, even just as a spectator, it would have been slightly overwhelming because you'd be like, so much to take in. And it's like, oh, that was really interesting, but I'm also now watching this, and now I'm watching this. And you don't sort of get that time to like reflect until it got to the serious part right at the end of the day in the open final.
Yeah.
And it was like sort of the top 8 is when it had slowed down to the point where, okay, now who's coming up, they're getting introduced, and you're seeing it more as like, this is a major event, like this is the major part where you do have time to relax and enjoy the matches. So that made the difference. Obviously, they're sort of running like 4 tournaments in one in a way. Aussie ArmWrestler has appeared.
The Aussie ArmWrestler.
He's in the waiting room. Let's put him in.
Let's let him in. Get ready for a ready bang, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go. Ready fang. Yeah, we've got to turn you up, mate. We've got to put the volume so we can hear you.
We want the ready bang in full effect, that's for sure.
That's right. Here he is, the man himself. With the beanie, back from the walk. Oh, he's muted. Okay, we've got to unmute him. We're all new to this technology here.
I'm new to microphones, so this is... So for those people that aren't aware, Jake Ward, the Aussie ArmWrestler, is co-sponsor of the Garage Wars event taking place in Melbourne on the 27th of August, along with Real Estate Agents Group. So it's wonderful to have my partner in sponsorship on the podcast today, and Jake will share with us his insights and preview perhaps some of the bigger matches that will be taking place on the day. And here we go.
How's that? Any better? Can you hear us, mate? We got a concerned look from Jake here.
It is good for viewers as well.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I can mute and unmute you, but it's strange. It's saying that you're unmuted on my end, Jake. I'm not sure what the problem is. Okay, one word.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
We hear the lovely
settings and
lovely
things
word.
like that. All righty. What's going on, gentlemen? Ready, bang! What has been happening, my guys? Glad to be back on the show. I think those biceps get even bigger. I'd flex. I'd give you a flex, but I really like this jump up, so I don't want to rip it. So I don't want to wreck it. What's going on, guys?
Well, we have been talking about the Garage Wars event that'll be taking place on the 27th of August there in Melbourne. You're my co-sponsor on that particular event, so wonderful to have you supported that event, of course, and of course. Great to be a part of it myself this year. So, of course, you're an integral part of the first event, having headed down and announced the event on that occasion. And this year, you would have looked to peruse the list of fights that have already been posted, and I'm sure there's a few juicy ones amongst it that you're super keen to see yourself.
Oh, mate, just the whole thing in general. I mean, the very first Garage Wars. Is a lot, means a lot to me, the very first Garage Wars. One, I'm always on it. I don't expect anything in the position that I am with arm wrestling. I do not expect anyone like, if there's an Australian event on, I never ever assume that they want me to do the commentary or do the announcing. When I get asked, I'm always on it, regardless of what it is. So, but what made Garage Wars the very first one so special for two reasons. One, it brought a community back together. It was a first competition of sorts after all the nonsense that's going on in the world. And here we are in Victoria. We're the last for any sort of freedom, so to speak. So a gentleman that owned the gym at the first Garage Wars, he didn't care about any rules. He's like, I don't care what your stance is. If you like arm wrestling, we're having it here. Let's rock and roll. Let's have some fun. So I got so amped in that I was able to make some amateur arm wrestlers turn professional by giving out cash prizes, which, the channel's going okay. It's not Dave Stockbridge kind of money, but the channel's going okay. So I like to give back. I like to give back to the community. And yeah, seeing these guys' faces light up, as we all do, whether we're working or we're athletes and we get a couple of bucks from it, we're up and about. So yeah, so I'm helping out again. And like you said, Dave, I'm pretty pumped to get on the microphone because I thought, okay, I wonder what, I was very curious to see what matches they'll get. Oh, wow. Wow. We're either getting international superstars at this event. So we've had a really good arm wrestler pull out, Sam Burnett. He's doing a bit of a Southeast Asia tour. So good luck to him. But he's been replaced by the #1 New Zealand arm wrestler, the one that Sam had to overcome it over the top to become the Oceanic champion, and that is Josh Barnett. He will be replacing Sam in the round robin. And that round robin, I'll tell you what, those people in the US think they have juicy turkeys on Thanksgiving. August 27th, that round robin alone is going to be phenomenal. You've got main event statuses, Mario Tambakis. Okay, I like calling him Tambakis. I like calling him Levan. I want to say Levan. Mario is pulling. Mario and Andy. They've both got matches. I think there's a big rematch on the left hand with Mario and Brett Coots. And for those watching, if you don't know Brett Coots is, he's just a star. I can't, selfishly, I wish his personal life, lovely wife, beautiful home and work would not get in the way so we could pull internationally. Vitaly Mateo's coming down, and I don't think he's ever had a boring match in his life. But then there's also some up and comers that you've never heard of, and I'm glad they're going to be on some sort of a stage. There's a couple of guys here from Melbourne that I'm very, very happy and very proud that they're getting their first matches in Jordan Browning and Chris Juicy Jackson. Those guys, I think they're taking on one from New South Wales, and I think
Hamza
from New South Wales or one
from Australia.
I'm not too sure from your neck of the woods, but either way, from top to bottom, on 13 matches, so they've really made me got my work cut out for me. But as you can see, I've rambled on for about 10 minutes straight. That's how excited I am for Garage Wars.
And talk us through the format, because it's not necessarily a straight out super match tournament. There you've got the round robin going in there. How are viewers going to find that different to maybe if they'd watched Over the Top or any of the recent super matches that have been live streamed over recent times?
Yeah, so if this is live stream, fantastic. I know Andy and Mario are big on filming and putting their spin on it. They're pretty good at editing as well and releasing out the matches. So yeah, it just depends on the order. So we've got one round robin. So I'm sure they'll do preliminary bouts and then finals later on in the day. So you're just going to get exciting matches throughout the day, because you've got a lot of talented blokes because it's they're all super matches, including the round robin. They're in a super match format, but you get, someone like Andy who's pulling twice. Well, he's not going to pull back-to-back right arm and left arm. You've got Brett Coots who's pulling twice, and you're not going to get Brett Coots 2 matches in a row. So the beauty of it is you've got to watch the whole thing. If it is live stream, and I hope it is, you've got to watch the whole thing, because you're going to see jets at the start. It's going to come off with an absolute bang. Then through the middle card, if you're someone like myself, I'm sure you are, Matt, not only in arm wrestling, but in other sports, you just you've got your big names over here. But this little stick of dynamite over there that's making a bit of noise. Right, I'm gonna chuck a couple of sports stocks in you and see if you rise. I'm going to keep an eye on you. So we're going to have those matches, and then the bigger names will come off and finish off the event. It's just, it's going to be awesome.
It's going to be stacked. It's great that you guys are putting these sorts of events on, especially, around the world. You're seeing the really huge cards, the king of the tables and that sort of thing. But very rarely do you see this sort of a format in any other country, unless it's like at the absolute elite level. So to get basically pretty much all of the top guys in the Southern Hemisphere in a way, and putting them all on one card.
There's people in Brazil right now saying, No.
You one viewer.
You have not seen us, yeah. You don't know. I'm a top rope specialist. Don't upset those Brazilians.
Yeah. I think Gabriela Vasconcelos might have something to say about that. She's probably just sitting here watching, going, "Oh no, we go all right in the Southern Hemisphere."
Yeah. But in terms of what people that are available, that are into arm wrestling in Australia, this is definitely a must-see card. The fact that you've put it all together, or that Andy and Mario have put it together.
Anyway, I had nothing to do with it. Nothing to do with it, but 100% backing it in.
Jake Ward's event, Jake Ward's Garage Wars. Is that? Jake Ward Wars. Jake Wars.
That could work.
Yeah, there we go. We got a whole new series coming up on the 27th of September now.
That's right.
Live stream from Jake's spare bedroom.
That's right.
Yeah. But that's right.
So I'm just trying to think if I'll be home. I'll be home, because I want to get into running events, and I didn't realize I was having a chat with Andy on Wednesday night, and I was just like, "Hey man, like, just out of curiosity, like, how'd you get these matches?" I said, "Did you just say, here's a date, do you want it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I said, "What are you offering him?" He goes, we've got a couple of sponsors that are able to help out, but these guys just want to come pull and they want to come on the card." And I was just like, man, awesome. That's because I want to get into having events and things like that. I want to, just like these guys are doing, just bring it out there for more people to see, because all right, when you're doing global ranks of it all, Australia's probably not up there as some of the best arm wrestlers, but we have some of the most exciting matches. And, the guys that want to pull here in Australia, they want to pull. I believe we don't have a happy medium here in Australia. We've either got guys that want to pull, that want to go absolutely nuts, and then we've got people that just never, ever want an arm wrestle. So, I mean, a guy from South Australia is coming, Tim Graham, one of the
heard of him,
one of the Adelaide greats, and he's taking on Andrew Lee. And they've had, once again, go back and watch their past matches from 2019. Yeah, that alone, I'd be like, wicked, I'm there. And the fact that we've got 13, 14 matches, amazing.
That match is the one I'm looking forward to the most, actually, because I know that both Andrew and Tim get absolutely fired up And leading into the match, it's just going to be like, it's going to be must.
It's going to be intense.
Like, I almost just want to see the build-up bit. You know?
Yeah,
the match.
Probably the match is going to be the
right.
anti-climax to
That's
to the pre-match testosterone on display. Yeah,
That's right. Exactly.
Well, I've been screaming for Andrew ever since I started arm wrestling. I've been screaming, mate, I want to see you in a match. I want to see you in a match. I've seen some highlights, and I wasn't there at Adelaide. I didn't come over for the trip. So I only saw that on YouTube. So that doesn't count. So I want to see him live. So I'm grateful Tim's coming over for the match. And the way they both just scream at each other, get your phones out. It's going to be awesome.
Have you ever been against Tim? Have you ever pulled against him?
No. I've a couple of times I've hung out with Tim. When I first got on the scene, he qualified for Arnold's and had some exciting matches there. And he documented a really cool water cut for those that are really interested in dropping a whole heap of weight using water. Tim Graham documented it on YouTube, so I found that really interesting. And so got to see Tim pull there. Then briefly caught up with him at Nationals because this is when it was like this Aussie arm wrestler thing was brewing. You know, I did like a review on Nationals and things like that. So, Foxy's here. He's one of the number one arm wrestling supporter, I reckon, in the world, all the way from Scotland. Fox, you big legend. Hopefully, I'll be over there in England catching up with
God bless Foxy.
Hopefully I'll be in England catching up with him early September, which will be cool. So just finalising a couple of things, and hopefully I'll be jet setting over there, which will be good. But I haven't spent much time with him, but always
is that a Daily Combat exclusive that you're going to the UK? Is that
it's not it's not exclusive. It's not exclusive. Okay.
All right.
It's just more and more. I think the exclusive is more up to 90% happening.
Okay, maybe it's a 90% possibility. That's what we're prepared to announce on the podcast today. Excellent. And what are you doing over in the UK?
So it's weird. It's once again, and this is what I love about anyone and everyone having a crack at running an event. So Fox loves arm wrestling. The Fox 8 Ball. That's right. The Whitby Open. Loves it. And when you treat the community well, the community treat you well back. So two gentlemen, one's Fox, and the other one is a gentleman named Phil Woody, and he goes by the YouTube name Phil Woody UK. So Uncle John from the Uncle John Arm Wrestling Show is going to be at Arm Wars. I won't be at Arm Wars because it's Father's Day here in Australia, and I'm not missing my very first one. So what they said, Fox 8 Ball was like, let me pull you, Uncle John. I will challenge you. So Uncle John said, well, I'll stay another week. And then Phil Woody's like, we'll come to Whitby. We'll look after you and we'll put on an event. So if I get there, I'll pull Phil Woody as well as commentate the event. So it's almost like Survivor fans versus favorites. So it's almost kind of like that. So Uncle John's pulling Fox. I'll pull Phil Woody. But then Ryan Bowen's going to be at Arm Wars. So he's like, well, I'll come down. And Neil Pickups has sat there and went, well, if everyone's just making the trip down from where we are, well, I might pop in and kick back and have a beer. So this small little event is now...
It's going to be the most watched arm wrestling event on YouTube for the month. That's what it'll be.
Straight after Arm Wars. So, we'll probably live stream it on both, either on my channel or Uncle John's channel. You know, we want it to reach out to everyone. Just got to finalize the deal with Phil where we want it to be streamed, because more than happy to have it on one channel or 10 channels or whatever. But once again, this little thing, Fox is like, if you're in the UK, can I please pull you? Can I please pull you? And now it's this little event is, okay, so Ryan can't. He's flying home on the 10th. Don't worry, Fox. I'll have a word with him. We'll get him there.
Are you pulling left-handed or right?
There's only one hand that you need to pull in a super match, and that's left-handed. There, Matt. Actually,
so is the cup on the line? That's will it be making the trip over?
all day.
I
Just fucking.
is this our exclusive?
No, back.
No, right.
Right up. $100,000 is my asking price.
Okay, so all right, hasn't been stumped up yet.
No, so
yeah.
I no word of a lie. I reckon.
So if there's a Saudi prince that's maybe on the chat right now, now's your time. Now's your opportunity. Get on there, 100 grand. Put it behind this one. Could be a big match.
I may even settle for 10K. I may even settle for 10K.
Entertainment history.
But what's that like? Every man is dog. No word of a lie. Genuinely, if I went back through all my messages and all my calls and everything, I reckon over 1,000 people have challenged me for this trophy, including John Brazing, including Todd Hutchings, Monster Michael Tom.
So, it's the only one he hasn't won yet.
Wow.
That's the dilemma.
That's right. I've got this one. I've got this. I've got it. And I'm just trying to have a look.
Is it? Can you show us? Is it on hand?
We get a glimpse of the greatness.
We were doing a bit of
in the glass cabinet.
I'm just trying to have a look because we're trying to do a bit of cleaning. But there it is! It is always around. It is always around. The 2019 Melbourne Cup left arm. 80 to 95 kilo, third place left arm amateur trophy. This thing will help me retire. It'll help me retire. It'll be brilliant.
It's the richest trophy in the sport currently. I understand.
It's
richest prize in the sport.
Yeah,
yeah.
$100,000 it would be.
name a richer prize. I'll wait. I'll wait because
if they do, you can just up your price. It's nice. It's an auction you can't lose.
It's in the contract. So if something tops mine automatically has to get bumped up. That's in the contract. But yeah, premium. So many people have challenged it for me, and Fox 8 Ball gets real angry. He reckons he's got first dibs, but you got to put up the money, Fox, you legend.
Yeah.
Because it's very funny because everyone's like, oh yeah, no, I'll like I'm just going to take matches. Oh, I'll take you for that. I'll beat you, Aussie, and that's fine. And look, you probably will. But I need some collateral damage for it because when you can't straighten your left arm, you need 2 hip replacements. Your body's riddled with arthritis. It hurts when you sit on the couch. You haven't slept well for 11 years. I kind of need collateral damage if I'm, if I'm giving up the most important trophy. There needs to be money. But I just wish a lot of YouTube people out there, YouTubers or arm wrestlers or things like that, would really just take a glimpse of the story of the trophy, and you can really build something if you market it well and hype it up. And over the Devon versus Van thing, I got criticized a lot for hyping it up, which is that is my whole shtick. Is being hype. They're being hype. I'm nothing. So yeah, but it's just like you show it off, you make people believe it's really important, and now to me, it is very important. I will take it to Whitby for I might let people get photos with it, but unless I see some massive coin on the table, it'll just be an exhibition match.
Very interesting. Now you mentioned before that you've got some ideas about running your own events, and just really curious as to, have you got some ideas solidifying around format, and how would you like to see that broadcast, and what's your theories and ideas around what makes an event watchable in 2022 and beyond?
I think I haven't really gone too far. I just kind of want to either do a bit. A little bit of what Andy and Mario are doing. You get your big names to bring people in, promote some people, some unknown people. But I just want people to see more arm wrestling. We don't have enough of that in Australia. I want to try and help Australian arm wrestling. I know I get that's another story. I'll leave that. That story is a bit too negative. But yeah, I just want to help out. I'm always happy, like when I sit there and look at a venue that I like and things like that, then I'll sit there and go, right, and get a crew of 8-10 people together and go, do you want to flirt with the rules? It's funny, a perfect example. We have so many people that hate the King's move. They hate the King's move. They can't stand it. I think it's the worst move, the clone move, the clown move, the Queen's move. They hate it. But when they organise a tournament or organise an event, they don't sit there and say, oh, well, we should ban the King's move. They let it ride. So they say it's the worst move in history and it should be banned, but they don't have the balls to ban it themselves. So I would flirt at something like that. I don't mind the King's move. You know, it's ugly, but there's always bits of the sport that is ugly. You know, a lot of us love UFC, but unless you are very articulate into the sport, when people are fighting for position and barely moving on the ground, to the naked eye, that's boring. To the enthusiast, it's like, oh my God, look, you know, even that shoulder movement there, he's going to pass the half guard and things like that. Yes, they've been on the ground for 5 minutes, but that's just the nature of the sport. Every sport has it. In basketball, when they continually foul in the last 2 minutes and you're watching people do free throws. And I love basketball, but that part of the game's boring. So, yeah, I could be looking to modify rules. Why not? What's the worst thing that's going to happen?
It's really interesting because we do live in an era where the rules are yet to be 100% codified. They're not written down in stone, and so there is that opportunity. Can you perceive there being matches where the combatants themselves come up with their rule set, for instance?
We could do that. You could do that in an event, but it has to be a collective. It has to be a collective. I mean, I'm always willing to try new ideas, but I think when it comes to competing, arm wrestlers have way too much say as it is. So, like when arm wrestlers come to the table, I think the referee should just stick their hands together, close them, bang, off you go. Let's battle. But so many times you see people build up, and if, say, I don't get the timing right and, you know, and hit it right, and I lose my adrenaline, I stop and I pull out. I don't get fouled or anything. It's just no. Or you see them all the time doing this. Thumb knuckle, thumb knuckle, thumb knuckle, thumb knuckle, thumb knuckle, thumb knuckle. And they sit there for ages, thumb knuckle. And it's like you have a bit too much say. So when it comes to, like, getting the input, I think I would probably rather have a separate group and go, what do you think of these rules? Let's try these rules. Then I'd get the guys over for some feedback if I only had, say, 10 people. Say, what do you think of these rules? Let's try them. But, yeah, it's everything's trial and error. And if, you know, arm wrestling fans, we've been patient enough as it is. So let's just be a little bit more patient and just focus on how many awesome matches we've been getting over the last 24 months.
Yeah, I think it's one of those issues that you just raised there that does, in some part, make some arm wrestling competitions quite unwatchable. And this is that you've got two athletes, but who are also fighting with not just each other, but also the referee. And I guess in codified football here in Australia, for instance, there's no conjecture entered into. Umpires or referee's decision is final. You can't touch the referee or the umpire, and that seems to serve those sports really well. It does mean, of course, that the referee or the umpire, they're human and likely to make mistakes, but then that also becomes part of the sport, and you'll take the good with the bad. What are your views around that in terms of how athletes engage with and interact with the referee and the setup, and sometimes just straight out abuse the referee? What are your thoughts and feelings with respect to that?
During the setup, nah. During the setup, no. I don't think you should talk at all. I don't think you should talk at all. The referee's there in their position. We have 2 referees for a very small square meterage, so we're there. So I think they should say nothing. Afterwards, you can have a chat like in any sport. Just, you know, hey, just let you know that first round, thumb knuckle, mine was covered, and you can have a quick chance there. I think if the technology is there, I think you should be allowed 1 challenge after a match. So if Matt and I are pulling and I somehow get Matt's hand and I take him over and pin him, but Matt looks over and he's like, oh, that elbow came right off the table, I think you get one one challenge, that's it, and go back and it's like the elbow was off the table, math's correct, restart, Matt pins me, or no, that was wrong, the decision stands.
So do you think? So do you think the referees on the table are best placed, or are you perhaps suggesting that there should be a match umpire who oversees and handles perhaps those disputes in real time, being present there, but with the ability to watch the replays and make a determination, and then instruct the referees as to what the next course of action will be?
No, not so much as a chair umpire. I like the two referees there, but we have a huge problem where, for the viewer watching, we love this angle. I love it when we're watching arm wrestling. Basically, that's, I feel, the best angle there, or a little bit above.
Yeah,
is there.
Well, Monty.
The best place for the bottom ref is there. That's the best place. So you'll see in a lot of tournaments, the referees, the bottom ref is off to the side. The bottom ref is off to the side. So the angles are terrible, whether it's, the wrists are straight, or, there's carving or anything like that. Yeah, it's...
I was fine.
Yeah, if they, we just need to work out how we can film and how we can keep the bottom ref there. Because even if you go back to WAL days, you look at 9 out of 10 tournaments or super match things, the bottom ref, king of the table, referee Sergio was over here, not there. So Neil's trying to lean over. No, just get your geometry right there.
Yeah, I was fine with the grip. Like, I've had a lot of practice, thankfully, with the super matches we've had at the club. Something that I really like is, I just tell the guys, get your grip. If you're happy with that grip, if you're both happy with it, I'm just going to start you. Like, if you both say I'm happy, and at that point, if you're both happy with it, I'm just going to wait for me to say go, and I'm going to say go. Obviously you've got the difficulty where at the elite level, no one's ever going to be happy because they want their perfect grip where they've got absolutely everything. Access, but if two guys are they get to the table and they're they negotiate a grip, and it might take, I think this 20 seconds thing, around the elite level it's almost a waste of time, because they're not going to get a grip. It's just just go straight to referee's grip straight away. Unlike what they did with the over the top tournament, where it was put your hands together, close your thumbs, close your hands, go. It wasn't this elaborate setup. It was pretty quick, and it was up to you to get your grip in that time frame. I like that so much better. It's if both guys are happy with the grip, just start it. You don't have to.
What are your thoughts on that, Jack?
I get rid of that. Get your own grip. There's a lot of things that I would try and get rid of, just for the entertainment aspect. One is get your own grip. That never. I could watch 100 matches and maybe 2 of them will get their grip, and there. And then, so get. I'm with Matt. Get your own grip. Get rid of it. Get in there. It's a referee's grip, and off you go. Second thing, if you slip and you go on the straps, do not go anywhere. You are not allowed to leave the table. Stay at the table. Stay at the table. Let the referee get their grip.
With elbow on the table, perhaps.
Yep. So if you slip, you've got 3 seconds to get back to the table.
Yeah.
Because I understand, for people that genuinely slip, they put all the power in. You might be misinformed. I don't want them to, jump up and do that. But by the time I count to 3, you need to be back there so we can get the strap on. Because we have it is, unless you are addicted and love the sport, there's a lot of nothing. There's a lot of dead air in our sport. And if you don't have the right people around, it's not entertaining.
It really does suffer from the same issues as gridiron, for instance, in that regard, where there's a lot of downtime between the action, and it's really left up to the commentators, the announcers, those people to fill that void. But for the viewer, that's not what they've come to necessarily see. They've come to see a couple of guys get on the table.
You want to see the arm wrestling part of the arm wrestling.
Exactly.
So you don't want to see all this. Like when Corey West and Alex Cadecha, the first round, it was 12 minutes. It was like 12 minutes, and I think it ended on fouls. It was like, oh my God, where was the arm wrestling in that?
Yes. And at the Real Cup, we also had a couple of instances where an athlete was, really posturing at the table and making it really difficult to get set, which frustrated the other athlete and everybody around that was, waiting to watch an arm wrestling match, ultimately, and for those athletes that were coming next as well. And I guess it's part of it. It can be part of the gamesmanship of arm wrestling. That's part and parcel of it. But when it comes to creating a sport that's watchable, it's not necessarily what the fans have come to see.
No, they haven't. They just want to see a hook battle. Look, arm wrestling enthusiasts will, argue back against me, but we've been doing this for 50 years, 60 years, and still. And I'm sure you guys have experienced it when you tell people. It even happened to me yesterday when we were at an appointment. My wife was bragging. It's like, oh, you're not going to believe it. My husband's an arm wrestling commentator. Oh, is arm wrestling a thing?
Is that a thing?
Is that a thing? Everyone was like getting stuck into WAL, but that was on ESPN. Arm Wars was on Eurosport. We need to evolve, and we have a lot of traditionalists is probably the word I'm looking for. We have a lot of traditionalists that can sit there and thoroughly enjoy a 12-minute chess match, set up, sleep, walk off, come back, and everything like that. And there's room for that. But if we want to be sitting here and, have an audience of 2,000 people, 5,000 people, 10,000 people, that dead time is what we need to get rid of. That would be my first thing I would be aiming to fix.
So is this perhaps one of a challenge not too dissimilar to that which cricket's gone through in the last 30 or so years, where you've got test match cricket, one-day cricket, and Big Bash 2020 style cricket that suit very diverse audiences, but there's still those aficionados that love the tactical play of a 5-day test match, the long form of the game, and then you got others that just love to see the batsmen slog and the bowlers hurl them down, and for them the spectacle of that is what brings them back to the sport. So are we at a point in arm wrestling now where there's room for different styles of events or different styles of presenting the sport?
I think there is. I really think there is. The last 2 years, I think there absolutely is. But I do believe we do have a lot of lazy is such a strong word. Lazy is such a strong word.
That's why I think you should use it.
Yeah, let's use the word lazy because Jake suggested it.
Right, yeah, but I think lazy because for me, whenever you see a match being made, people are like, oh, why is that match happening? There's a guy at my club that is way better than such and such McGragus. There's a guy at my club super stronger than that. Why isn't he getting his opportunity? And blah, 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 blah. Where in arm wrestling, you need to just go out and create your opportunity. Call out people, like Monster Michael Todd. As soon as he beat Toddzilla, his thing was, I reckon if I can just get one lane, I can beat Levant. And everyone's like, he doesn't deserve Levant. He needs to work his way up and get there. No one else wants to pull him. Like you're creating this opportunity. Now there's buzz around it. I'll make videos about it. And I think the arm wrestling world have to just stop waiting. I don't think they have to stop waiting. And I try, without sounding like the biggest flog in the world, I try and give people myself as an example. Because when we were all in lockdown, I was on the verge of creating the Aussie ArmWrestler. So I went from pulling 0 matches to having the best in the world on my show at 100 subscribers. Did I deserve that? No, No, there were probably 1,000 better podcasts out there than what I was doing, but I went out and got it. I accidentally started hanging shit on a bloke during a live stream. He's like, oh, he was jumping in the comments and he was like, you're trying to make this into WWE, stop making it about too much entertainment and all the show. I've been in the sport for 45 years. And I said to him, mate, yes, you have been in the sport for 45 years and you're watching me.
Yes.
Exactly. There you go.
But I have in all due respect, I have no idea who you are. Fantastic. You've been in the sport for 45 years. And a part of it, I believe a lot of people are very scared at the rapid rate the sport is growing. Because never in any sport, and please correct me if I'm wrong, gentlemen, because you two are two of the biggest sports enthusiasts I know, but where can you message one of the best in the world and 9 times out of, maybe 7 times out of 10, you get a reply or they like your Instagram or Facebook? Where can you just message them? Hey, would really love it if you come on the show for no money. So no one has ever asked for money to come on my show. I do charge Daily Combat Podcast a good $3,500 to come on. So I've got to make me bread somewhere. But
standard rate.
Or if you are if I go onto Google or YouTube and type in how to play basketball, I will not see a Steph Curry tutorial video. But if I look in how to arm wrestle, I will have a Devin Larratt, a Travis Bagent, a Todd Zilla, a Coach Ray, a Giannis Amelins. So I literally can just sit on my couch and learn from the best in the world. So that will now be harder to access. So there will be a stage where if you want John Brzenk on your show, you will have to financially compensate him. I'm at a stage now where I am really, and I way, way below in the popularity, but I am really struggling to keep up with the comment section or replying to every single, I'm very grateful, but I'm struggling now to keep up with it. So we're just we're in a formality now. I think a lot of these people are actually really scared that the sport's growing because it's now no longer,
and what do you think they're scared about?
Just once again becoming irrelevant. So irrelevancy is the number one, in my opinion, is the number one almost, I don't know how to put it. Like when I sledge people and I trash talk people, irrelevancy is my number one go-to.
Yep.
So to make you feel, so Dave, if you were, and a perfect example happened at footy.
Don't use me as an example.
Okay, I'll tell you, it's a fun little.
Let's go Ryan Bowen.
Forgive me if you've already heard it, right? I sat there and a bloke left our footy club, mid-tier player, left our footy club to go play at another footy club in the same league. I'm cool with that. That doesn't bother me. But we were playing, it was coming up to the week we were playing them. And everyone was like, I'm going to, as soon as I see Scotty, I'm going to smash him. I'm going to hang shit on him. On the start of the day, if he goes near the ball, I'm going to absolutely smash him. So I got the boys Thursday night and I said, do not talk to him before the game. Do not mention him. I said, I will crush him before the balls even bounce, but I need you all to participate. Do not say anything. All right, Wardy, we're behind you.
Psychological warfare.
Mm-hmm.
So we get there and we just go about our warm-ups. All right, boys, come on, warm up, blah, blah, blah. And we get to the middle of the ground because I knew he was going to start on me. And we get to the middle of the ground. And I looked again and I went, you don't play for us anymore. Oh. And even yelled out to our coach, Gassy, do you know he doesn't play for us anymore? Well, there you go. Oh, good luck, mate. And you thought every bone left his body. And everyone just saw these big shoulders just cave in. And, okay. Shit. So irrelevancy is my biggest go-to. But going back where we're going with it, because people that, you know, they might be ranked 100 or 150th or something at their club or their state or whatever, won't be able to have that awesome access to the elite or have their opinion. Now, people are really getting they're getting more aggressive on social media to stay relevant. Okay, I'm not a good arm wrestler. What can I do? I will be the harshest person. All right. You think you can say this about Monster Michael Todd or Ryan Bowen or something like that? I'll top you. And now it's getting real nasty. So people, are really struggling to continue to find their relevancy in the sport. And a lot of testosterone-filled men, their go-to is to bring everyone back down to their level. See, a lot of us that are growing, we try our best to make all ships rise together. We're all coming together. The bigger channels have helped me, and I will try and pass it on. I think it's the right thing to do. Not that I'm a big channel, but that build. So these people, you know, that are sitting in the water splashing about sinking, they would rather pull the boat down and watch us all fall out than go, shit, okay, well, what do I got to do now to make me, you know, above, you know, shoulders above water while everyone's head's trickling? How do I get shoulders above? Instead, they're just like, pull these motherfuckers down, let them drown with us.
Yeah. Do you reckon the endeavour's largely rewarded in arm wrestling at the moment? Because it's only really in recent times that personalities like yourself have turned your attention full time to arm wrestling. Ryan, over the last couple of years, has laid down the template for that. So now you've got some of the bigger names in the sport kind of rising in terms of not just being popular within the sport, but having an awareness, or people having an awareness of them from outside of the culture and the sport as well.
Yeah, well, you need, being a good arm wrestler, being a great arm wrestler isn't enough anymore. It's not. It's not enough. It's not. As much as people hate me saying that, they're like, you know, I should get my shot. Oh, you know, I'm number one in America, number one in Kansas City. It's like, cool, man. I have no idea who you are. I have no idea, and I watch arm wrestling full time, and I got no idea who you are. So find out. Like when I was growing up, I watched UFC and I watched a number of sports, but UFC always comes to mind for this kind of story. And I was watching it. My brother watched it and I was watching it. Then The Ultimate Fighter came out and suddenly every week I'm invested in Chris Lieben, Diego Sanchez, because I'm seeing them every week. Willie can't wait. Oh, when's Chris going to get his fight? Oh, now, okay. And building. Oh, Forrest Griffin, man, he's the man. Oh, yes, Forrest Griffin, advanced. So a person got invested in these people because you saw personality. It wasn't just Forrest Griffin's a good fighter. There you go. No one knew who Forrest Griffin was until he was on The Ultimate Fighter. Forrest Griffin was fighting in, you know, garage wars and backyard brawls. But then he got on this show and took his opportunity. So I beg a lot of people to, whether it doesn't have to be YouTube, and you don't have to be an Aussie arm wrestler out there, personality, calling fucking Ready Bang when you know, when my wife passes me the salt, I'm like, Ready Bang. Guilty. But people can be effective if you want to know how to be effective without being an over outlandish person, go watch wrestling and go watch how Jake the Snake Roberts conducts his interviews. Because if you are important and you speak, everyone will listen. John Brzezinski does not raise his voice ever. You would look at his podcast, even when Devin was getting stuck into him. He's very cool. He's very calm and collective, you know, and things like that. So,
just like the Ultimate Warrior in his
Yep. He was a rubbish wrestler.
Calmest guy ever.
But he's another good example, Matt, because he was rubbish. But boy, did you want to see him. He got you excited. He got you up. So I'm the Ultimate Warrior level with John Brzezinski, Jake the Snake Roberts level. But yeah, I feel, whatever social media platform you're on, I watch a lot of arm wrestling, and I see a lot of people beat people. So that is cool. That is awesome. But I need more, because we're in a world, we're always wondering what's next. What's next? We're almost like a whole heap of 5-year-olds. Okay, this is fun. What's next? What's next? So as soon as Devin and Levan finish, like 2 days later, I'm like, who's Levan pulling next? Where's Devin going to go? So we're like that. So I beg anyone that really wants to either have super amazing matches with high level talent, you need something. You need something more than being a great arm wrestler.
I just wanted to address this comment from Adam here. He was talking about, I'll read it out by, what about guys like me and Sam Burnett? How can Sam take on another character when he has difficulty on camera just introducing himself? I think we were talking about this on the last podcast, that if you have difficulty, you don't have to be like an Aussie arm wrestler or a guy that comes out and promotes themselves. You can get your matches and put them together and edit them and upload them and put titles on it. You don't have to do a voiceover. You can get somebody else to speak for you. You can, get other people type yourself. You can send your clips to other people and say, can you help me out? And maybe could you put my video up and talk about it? Or, if you've got, you can build your own hype. It doesn't have to be, there's many roads to finding promotion and self-promotion.
There's, I guess, WWE and UFC often come up in the same conversation, but you've got with WWE very much a controlled narrative. The outcome's predetermined, and so they know where the narrative is heading. Whereas when it's UFC, although a very similar technique in terms of building up the hype and building up momentum leading into a particular bout, but the big question mark is the result. And so arm wrestling does have to go in that direction unless it's going to be a completely fake sport. So in that context, then I think athletes need to be very much true to themselves in terms of, as you mentioned, not everyone is a Jake Ward, not everybody is a wordsmith, and not everybody's got this big personality. But what they do probably have is some keen insights or an opinion that's worth listening to, or some thoughts that they have with respect to their upcoming bout, for instance, that fans will want to see, even if it's not presented like a backstage WWE interview, for instance, So there are definitely ways that young arm wrestlers that want to build a profile can certainly do that, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're having to assume a character to do so, I don't think.
No. Sam Burnett's a great example that proves my point from earlier. So Sam Burnett, yes, he's not, the in the camera. He's a very quiet guy. Really loves Sam Burnett. But he's gone out and chased it. So he goes out and has 1 million matches and uploads them to YouTube. Yep. He goes out and learns. His editing skills, very good. He has a very good Arm Wars Savage Surge video. I was very impressed with it. Very impressed. And once again, because of that, I will push for him to hopefully make the top 10. But he's going out. Like I said, we mentioned earlier, he had to pull out of Garage Wars, not because he's just got a dinner on, because he's going to be in Singapore, I think, or Korea or somewhere like that, taking on matches, going and getting it. So now if he happens to be like Gangnam Style and hit that Korean market, well, he's just going to be one of the most popular arm wrestlers on the planet. But in
the meantime, the Burnett brothers have designed their shirts. They've got their merch, and so if any of those guys make it and start to build in prominence, they've already got that infrastructure behind them that they can leverage from in order to help that Burnett brothers brand continue to grow.
Yeah, and probably one of the best examples. I had a really good sit-down interview with a guy from India, and his name's Pradeep, and he runs a channel called Arm Wrestling News. Mm-hmm. All he does is present the news. Now, he writes a script. I can't remember if he still does now, but he used to write a script. But the way he did it, he would when he would release his earlier videos, because I remember, because I couldn't believe it. I was like, when he watched my very first podcast and he did the arm wrestling news on it. He was like, there's this new podcast guy that's coming out, and blah, blah, blah. But he would...
Crazy guy.
Yeah. He would speed up his talking. So you had to listen so you wouldn't miss out on anything. And now his channel is doing phenomenal. Now, he's not a ready bang and out there personality. He talks. Some people say he talks monotone. I quite like Pradeep's. Channel. I do, but he just talks. Hello, my name is Pradeep from Arm Wrestling News. We've got Matt Connelly here from South Australia Titans, and he's going to take on his co-host of the Daily Combat podcast, and that is Dave Stockbridge. That match will be at Garage Wars 3.0, hosted by the Andy and Mario show. But he's just, but that's it. And he's got double the subscribers that I do. He does fantastic. So for those out there, like Matt said, there's so many lanes. There are so many lanes.
Yeah, everyone should try to copy you. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. Just
no.
Get yourself a cup, $10,000 prize, and $100,000 bounty on it, and you're set. You've got your super funds. You've got everything's perfect.
That's right. I've got a daughter now, so
exactly. Congratulations, by the way. Wonderful news.
Thank you. Very, very excited we actually saw our breast surgeon today. It was very nice to go into his office and tell him, and show him our beautiful baby girl, because 2 years ago, February 20th, 2020, he told us that we had breast cancer, and you, with the breast cancer that you have, you'll probably have 5 years, maybe look at adoption, but do not hold your breath when it comes to having a baby. And yeah, that was just challenge enough for my wife and I. We're like, no worries, don't worry about that. And a year after her final treatment, we took our daughter home. Bang! Yeah! Very excited. The Aussie ArmWrestler went ready bang in the bedroom, and then Mrs. Aussie ArmWrestler went ready bang in the delivery room, and we worked together, and we're rocking and rolling and having the time of our life.
So did you just go back to let the doctor know how shit he is at his job, or like what is that going on now?
No way.
Like, what do you know, mate? Just give up. Have you thought about arm wrestling YouTubing or something?
No, he removed the cancer from my wife's body, the main part. So no, always grateful for him. He helped us detect it and remove the big bulk of it, and made sure that we he had to be the bearer of bad news. But we were just showing him, and then my wife got the official all clear from cancer. So that was another great day today. We were just celebrating with a walk around here when you guys messaged me. So yeah, it was just absolutely fantastic. That's why I thoroughly enjoy when people try and hang shit on me in my comments and think that they're getting one over me by calling me an idiot or saying that I'm on the spectrum or my show sucks or whatever. I was like, dude, watch your fucking wife go through cancer, or a family member. And I've watched multiple family members, watch family members or friends commit suicide. Yeah. Your YouTube comments really gonna get me. Like, come on, dickhead.
So, mate, getting back to Garage Wars, who do you have money down? Who do you think? Or are you just going to simply be there as a fan, just soak it all in real time? Or have you got some bold predictions for the viewers as to how you think Garage Wars is going to go down?
Very far out, massive far out prediction. I think this is more of a want. This is more of a bet with the heart, but I want Mario Tambarkas to win on the left. I want Mario to beat Brett Coots for two reasons. One, Mario is one of the best people on the planet. I love Mario. I've got nothing but love for Mario. And two, I really hope this would light the fire under Brett Coots and go and make some money hitting up these big matches. For me, that's going to be exciting. My man Jordan Browning is winning. He's winning. Highlight that. It is done. I love my guy, Jordan. He sometimes trains at my house, but he trains at the Hop as well. Stud. Absolute stud. Love him. Just got a nice drive for it. He's dropped a lot of weight. Really nice young fella. And I'm really hoping the best for him. So my commentating may be more directive, slight coaching. When I call out a ready bag and I'll be like, if I were Jordan Browning in this situation, I'd be regripping. Regrip Jordan. Jordan, fucking regrip, mate.
Do you know much about his opponent?
I do know. I haven't seen too much footage of him. The footage I've seen, I'm very excited. And I think it'll be a very, very tight match. I think Jordan needs to be on for him to win. I think everything just has to go right because Jordan is a beginner.
Mm-hmm.
I think this will be technically his first official super match. He came and pulled it over the top, and that was a wake-up call for him. He says, I'm too small for the heavyweight division. And he's dropped about 15, 20 kilos. I'm very proud of him. So I'm definitely keen on that one. Josh Barnett will win.
Hamza was 6'1" at the start of the week, and I think he's 6'3" as of now, which is Friday. So he's a young 16, nearly 17, or
17,
just 17?
Yeah, he's just
putting on 5 kilos a week at this stage.
It's unbelievable how strong he gets every week. Every week he's getting stronger, and literally this was hard for me to deal with, but on Sunday, just gone.
It's okay, mate.
I know, it's horrible.
You can open up. We're all friends here.
He's gone past me.
He's surpassed. Yeah, Hollywood Matt
Which
Connelly.
is a horrible feeling when he's like a year in and 17. And
you've literally been doing weights twice as long as he's been alive.
That's right.
Yeah. It's not helping.
Yeah, that's right.
Matt, you are getting into a weird realm. You are getting into a weird realm, and you will need to make a choice. For me, there's 3 options.
That was a hard reality.
This is what I had to accept, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. There are 3 options. You can be a very good arm wrestler. You can be a very good arm wrestling YouTuber. You can be a very good family man. I believe you cannot be all 3.
All 3.
So I have chosen to be a good family man and to be a very good arm wrestling YouTuber. So yes,
I think that was just the sound of
smoke me on the table.
I think that was just the sound of Matt's heart breaking, actually. Yeah, but that's very, very good advice. Very good advice. And advice that every arm wrestler needs to hear at some stage of their career, I believe, as well.
It's one of those things. I think we were talking about this when we were up in the Over the Top. I was telling you a story earlier about how we were trying to find the car before we went over to McDonald's and had some food. But
what a nightmare that was.
I'm going to have to cut that bit and send it to you because I thought it was quite funny.
It was funny.
But you said that you sort of had felt that you didn't want to be taking these bigger matches, and what you're doing now in the sport, you really love it. That's your niche. That's your thing. You do well with it. You're successful in it, and you feel that if you went into a match and you got beaten, that. And I feel this as well because I've been beaten a lot, which is it's the game. It's part of the game. But
winning, a lot of guys win a lot.
Too. Yeah, that's
good
right.
People, they're winning.
That's not me. But if you lose and then you're talking about arm wrestling and people have seen but this guy just gets beaten every time, and it's like I feel like it discredits your opinion.
Your brand, it dents your brand just a little bit.
Like this guy sucks. He's a terrible arm wrestler.
It's better to leave the illusion of potential than it is to demonstrate that your potential might not be.
Yeah, 100% because like and when your brand builds, and it will build, when your brand builds and it builds more, people will seek you out just to get that 15-second clip. And it happened to me at Over the Top. I'd commentated for 9.5, 10 hours, been up till 3 a.m. the day before helping out, was at the venue at 7 a.m. to help out again in the morning, call the action all day. But then, some people pinned me on the table, and they probably would have in a normal match anyway. But that clip goes out. Oh, the Aussie ArmWrestler's not so good. And so I took a wise decision. Like when it came to Over the Top, I said, I'm not competing. I competed in state titles, and I was like, nah, I'm too tired before I even get to the table. And yeah, it whether you like it or not, it does hurt your brand. Like if you guys went to the gym and a fat dude was telling you how to lift or how to diet, you'd be like, Now he might have all the knowledge in the world. Don't get me wrong, but that first visual thing. Oh, why am I listening to Matt Connelly? He hasn't pinned anyone in 2 years. Why?
True.
Click, change the channel. Yeah, where it's like, oh, okay, I haven't seen Matt Connelly pull in 2 years. All right, beauty. Yep, no, that's a great idea. So I am in that stage. Or if someone offers me a match and I've got time to prepare, because my body's cooked. So I'm happy to still have matches, but they would probably have to be at the start of the day rather than, mid-tier. So like next weekend, I'm going to New South Wales titles. Now, given enough time, I would have said, give me a super match with someone at the start of the day. Then I could focus on commentating. I'm fresh. I can see where I'm at. Let's go. And then if they get their pin on me, they can post it all over the internet they want.
Yep.
Who would you pick if you had to pick somebody?
I don't know. I'd like to pull someone from New South Wales. I just want it to be an even matchup. New South Wales don't get anything out of it if they put someone significant stronger than me. I get smoked 3-0. Am I in a hurry to release that footage? Probably not. Do I feel happy the way New South Wales treated me? Probably not. Will it be better for the sport? I didn't even have to win, but wouldn't it be better to start the day of arm wrestling seeing a semi-known arm wrestler in a massive battle where, a hook battle in the middle of the table? And if I don't win, that's okay. But it's like, we're all redlining and sweating and things like that. And we shake hands at the end. It's like, let's do this later down the track. So it does nothing if events treat, just like anywhere. Like if you guys come to my house, I'm going to treat you very well. If I treat you crap and then I'm like, hey, Adam and Dave want to come in for a barbecue, you're like, fuck that guy, the way they treated me. So if they had done that, I haven't got a match, but I might seek a match on the day. I might look at someone and go, do you want to have a match pre? But if they do treat me bad and then the next New South Wales tournament comes, I'll be like, no, don't worry about it, guys. I'm just going to wait for Adelaide. They treat me well.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you want to make good matchups. Like if you're going to have super matches, and I think that's what you're seeing on this Garage Wars card that's coming up, is the matches that are all there. They're all like, oh, this is going to be exciting, because you can't just pick a winner. You can't go, this is an obvious squash match here. Like he's obviously going to win. Yeah, it's like you want to always to be around as 50-50 as you possibly can. And I think you've done a great job. Well, not you guys, but in terms of what Andy and Mario have done. In terms of setting up these matches, it's like they have matched up the competitors very well, so that when you're looking, it's like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, and that, I want to see that too. I don't know who's going to win.
And it's also the source of some of that disappointment when Sam and Taryn aren't going to go head to head now. And that was something I was really looking forward to.
Yeah, because there's history, there's story in that matchup.
There's definitely a story in that matchup. And I think Matt had half the reel already ready to go as well. There was a big story there, and it's that beautiful blend of the stories. They haven't been on the table against each other for a year or two now. Like how they both developed in that time. We've kind of got a handle on Sam because he's been more active at that elite level. But what's Taryn been doing in the shed in the meantime? It's one of those classic matchups and stories, but even more disappointing when it doesn't come off. But it does. There's stories like that bring attention to cards like this, and it builds the excitement for the whole card.
In honesty, though, like what you were saying before about building your brand, I see Sam going around doing matches all over the country, doing big putting himself out there as much as he possibly can. I'm not seeing that from Taron. I don't see him. He's a fantastic arm wrestler. He's done a couple super matches at the club. He competed in the Real Cup at February, but it's like, the self-promotion side of it, Sam is like light years ahead, and that's why he's going to tour Southeast Asia and Taron isn't.
Yeah. And the one thing about Taron, if Taron comes out and smokes everybody, it could be one of the smartest things he's done because he was very vocal in all the YouTube comments and all the Discords and the Reddits, and he was always commenting on there. He wasn't winning matches. He was on Dankiest Arm Wrestling. He was very active on there, making some funny videos and things like that, and really getting stuck in arm wrestlers. But now he's gone radio silent. So I hope that radio silent.
That's what's going on.
That's right. Yeah. So I hope Taron comes to Garage Wars absolutely jacked, and then makes a name for himself. And it's like, oh, hey, everyone, this is Dankiest Arm Wrestling. I just smoked the number 1 70 kilo, the number 1 80 kilo from New Zealand, and another genuine superstar in my division. Smoked them. Dankiest Arm Wrestling. I'm around. Let's hang out. So if he does it right, the radio silence could work in his favor.
Be cool. Yeah, and I think you're exactly right, and that's why we have you on the podcast, mate. Your insights are amazing, and it's naturally fantastic to see that once again you're behind Garage Wars and sponsoring, announcing, and taking care of filling in the gaps as the day goes on. So, mate, I'm really looking forward to the 27th of August. I'm heading over there.
Really?
I'm heading over, mate. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
that's awesome.
Yep. So I got permission from the wife earlier today. So they're happy to announce that on the podcast.
It's exclusive. It's exclusive.
Just in case she's listening.
Yes. Are you coming, Matt? Are you coming?
I'm going in Dave's suitcase, but I'm not allowed out.
Dave is now my favourite South Australian.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
well, I'm of course.
That's in your hands, Matt.
Well,
you come to Garage Wars, you reclaim. You're my favourite South Australian. But
well, I might have to look at the old web jet and bring up and see what's going on there. But it should be a big event. Everyone's very excited about it. You guys done a fantastic job of sponsoring the event, making sure that these sorts of things can go ahead.
And providing a platform for the athletes who've been long suffering, and especially over the last couple of years haven't had a chance to test their mettle against the best. And and you guys have seen that as an opportunity. Haven't been sitting on the sidelines whinging about it. You've gone out there, you've done something, and it's not just something for the athletes but the entire community. So, mate, well done to you guys and Andy and Mario for putting it all together. And mate, this is going to be an event I can't wait for now. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it all plays out on the 27th of August in Melbourne.
Oh, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be really good. And unfortunately for the record, Dave, we turned our spare bedroom into our daughter's bedroom. Otherwise, I would have offered you a bed at Casa Della Ward, but we don't have a bed for you to sleep on, my friend. So I do apologise that I can't offer you somewhere to stay.
I know, being your favourite South Australian, you would have quite happily have accommodated me, but
absolutely,
mate, yep,
absolutely, yeah. I've done airport because we've all got to look after each other. I've done many of airport runs, at the Victorian titles. I drove 3 Queensland blokes back to the airport and had to drive to 3 different locations to pick them all up and things like that. So yeah, I mean, if we can all help each other out, then we're all going to be more involved. And if Andy and Mario were smart, they would make sure that one of the major sponsors has the red carpet rolled out for them.
I think I've got a promotional T-shirt in the post, so I'm actually really happy about that. Yeah,
oh, cool. You can sleep in that.
Yeah.
But it's just little gestures like that. The shirts look pretty cool. Saw them on Wednesday night, but it's just that little thing. Look, Dave, we can't give you millions of dollars of return on your investment, but this is us saying we appreciate and we thank you. And for me, I'm a just reach for the wallet kind of guy. I can buy drinks all night, But once in a while, just reach for the wallet. No, I'll get it. Just reach for the wallet. Show me that you appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Still waiting on Matt's t-shirt, by the way. But anyway, well, Jake Ward, the Aussie arm wrestler, thanks so much for joining us on the podcast once again, mate, and really enjoy the insights. Love to see what love to get insights into what your vision for the sport is as well, and great to see that there's going to be some Aussie arm wrestler events on the horizon, and super excited to see what kind of form and shape that they take. Ladies and gentlemen, Jake Ward, the Aussie arm wrestler.
Ready, bang! Anytime you guys need me and I'm not walking the dog, I will be more than happy to come on the show and help you guys out. Love what you're doing for the sport.
Oh, thanks, mate. And interesting when you get a message from Jake Ward and he says he's just out for a walk. The last time I heard you did that, you raised $110,000, and it was just a stroll from the Opera House to Melbourne, I believe. So, we didn't know if you were going to be 15 minutes or 15 hours. So, but we're glad it was only 15 minutes, mate. So thank you very much.
Oh, the Dungeon Master's in the house. Yes, my guy. Once again, that guy's funny. That guy's funny. Yeah, I think AW Duff's from the same club. They sent me some footage. They just asked, hey, if you get a chance, can you commentate this for us? And I said yes. And I've got to build a really good relationship. The bad thing about all of that, and this is probably an exclusive, I may need to start charging people for this in the future. I'm getting way too many requests.
Yep.
And I want to do it for everyone, but I could literally spend 72 hours straight doing everyone's requests to commentate their match.
Well, you're also somebody who doesn't do things by halves, and so when you get a request like that, you pour your heart and soul into it. But the other thing in that for a lot of these clubs is that what they've got to, I think, balance that off with is that the exposure of having your videos commentated on by the Aussie arm wrestler is money. You can't buy that type of exposure typically. So if you get the opportunity to contribute a little bit out of the club funds in order to build the profile of your athletes in the club and the brand that you're trying to build in your club, wherever that might be anywhere in the world, then I would say that investing in getting you to commentate for those things is one of the most cost-effective things they could ever do.
Yeah. Well, it's very nice of you to say, Dave. But yeah, it's getting to that stage. I may almost have to take a cameo. Is a cameo that business where like I don't want to sound like a dick and go I'm a celebrity or anything like that. But it just may get to that stage, and Patreon or membership with one commentary a month, loads would buy that. I mean, it would be AW Duff, but then Dufford Lewis, his name, he's a really good guy, but then it's a matter of if I get 1,000, and I have to do 1,000 every month. So it's just something. Once again, I'm always looking to evolve behind the scenes, and hopefully something comes to fruition. In the meantime, I'll pick and choose. So people like AW Duff and Oxford Arm Wrestling, throughout my journey on Instagram, they would always pop up. They've liked the video, they've commented on the video, they jump in YouTube. So when they asked me, of course I was going to do it. But I do have people that don't even follow me on Instagram, and they're like, can you do this video for me? Oh, and can you share it on your page? And it's like, it's not people like Dufford and Oxford Arm Wrestling. They're the good ones. It's the ones that kind of want, and I tried to do it sometimes, but once in a while I just go to them and say, dude, you don't even follow me on Instagram. Don't be a dick.
So you're happy to reward the true believers and the followers, but if somebody's
I'm a loyal guy. I'm a very loyal guy. Very loyal.
Yeah. Yeah, well, like I say, I think it's money well spent for anybody that wants to raise their profile in the sport. It's very similar to, what you've done. You've reached out to the best people in the sport. They've been kind enough to reciprocate and appear on your channel. People are coming to you that have been loyal to you. They like what you're doing, and you're happy to reciprocate. But also there's a lot of people out there that are just happy to leverage off all of this hard work that you've put in over recent times, and where there's very little gain for you in it. And I think if what they've got to look at that as a commercial transaction and suggest that if you want to grow your club and you want to build the profile or the brand of those athletes within your club, there's a very easy way to do that, and that is to get the Aussie Arm Wrestler to call those fights and to enter into a partnership with you in order to be able to do that. And I think that's good money well spent.
When Jake did a little voiceover for one of our matches we had from the Real Cup 2 years ago, and I think it was me and Tim or something, but everyone in the club was so excited about that. It was like, we've made it. Like, we made it. The Aussie Arm Wrestler's actually done something.
He knows we exist.
See, it's that I find very, like, as you can see, I just laugh, and I sometimes I have to put the feeling I get now to the side, because if I'm going to continue to do this full time, but I just find that so surreal and very humbling, because I mean, Matt, you've spent some time with me, and Dave, we've spoken a few times. Like, I put my pants on one leg at a time, like everyone else. Like, anyone that comes up and says "g'day" to me, I do not think I'm better than anyone else ever. So yeah, when people are saying that, and a lot of people have shown me footage of them like a premiere to their club. We put it on like Chromecast and it's on the telly. And it's like, hey, Aussie Arm Wrestler, I'm going to surprise everyone with this for our club, and they'll play the commentary I've done for them. So it's humbling, man. I commented on someone's Instagram post the other day, and she was like, "Oh my God, this has just made my day. Thank you so much." And or I wake up and I'm very fortunate. I've been tagged in a whole heap of things, but it'll be Devin Larratt, Levan, Larry Wheels, and the Aussie Arm Wrestler. Us four have been tagged, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. That's even that I'm your fourth person you think of that you want to tag. I'm just like, but I am definitely one of you guys. That is for sure. Because without all you guys, I don't have a channel. I don't have an audience. I don't like to call them subscribers. I call them my mates. I'm lucky to have 7,500 mates that are on my channel. So the algorithm boosting comment, this guy, once again, Drew doesn't say much, but we all know this guy as the YouTube algorithm boosting comment, because whenever he jumps on anyone's videos, that's the first thing he writes. So going back to my promoting type thing, he's not screaming or shouting, but when the Drew 24 comes up, this is the YouTube algorithm boosting commenting guy. The UBAC. Why BAC? Drew's our guy. But he's not on a channel, he's not screaming and shouting. But once again, everyone, you can find your own niche for sure, and it's awesome. And for you guys to even think that I'd be a relevant guest on your show for what you guys are doing, and to me, I find that pretty cool, and I find it pretty humbling.
Oh, well, mate, it's an absolute joy to have you on the show, of course, again, and we look forward to having you back on, and maybe we'll do a review of the Garage Wars event that's coming up in Melbourne on the 27th of August, sponsored by the Aussie Arm Wrestler, the man on screen right now, and Real Estate Agents Group, and so it's going to be a massive event, and if you want to keep up to date with information around that event, of course, you can always tune into the Aussie Arm Wrestlers channel, or jump onto Andy and Mario's page, the Andy and Mario show, and of course you'll see updates as we edge closer to that big day in Melbourne in August, not September. August is next
month. Once East versus West finishes, and a couple of other things. I'll be dedicating a lot of airtime to Garage Wars. That's for sure.
Fantastic, guys. We'll tune in for all your the Garage Wars news and all things arm wrestling just simply by clicking subscribe on this man's channel, the Aussie Arm Wrestler, Jake Ward. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time.
Ready, bang!
Thank you, everybody. We're going to end the stream there.